Data search, generic DAO and generic search. Previously, I've spoken about the data definition in Hybris. Data is defined in XML according to the Hybris rules. The database layer is covered by the Hybris as well, but what about search? For search, Hybris provides its own abstraction. In the end, programmers write simple and unified queries, and Hybris platform resolves them into proper SQL statements. Simple yet limited way to search is generic DAO. To create it, you have to provide the type code as the constructor parameter in Spring XML or in Java code. Using generic DAO, you can search for all items of the certain type. Alternatively, you can filter them with a map of parameters. Filtering is done through the equals condition, and both cases support sorting. Other searching option is the generic search. It is similar to the Hibernate criteria API, where queries are built by Java objects interaction. Here is the example that gets all simple training items. I create a generic query object for simple training item type and pass it to the search method. Now let's get some items with the code is like query. I create a generic search field for training items code attribute and case-sensitive like generic condition for such field. Later, condition is added to the query object. In the end, query is passed to the search method. In the case where your attribute is localized, your search field should be specified as localized as well. Query is wrapped to the generic search query object and locale is provided for that wrapper. For ordering, the generic search order by object is needed. The order by is passed inside the generic query object. To perform join, you need two search fields and generic join condition. Join condition and joined type are passed to the query as parameters. If you want to join by many-to-many relation, you will need to join source type with the relation and join target type with the relation as well. In such cases, the amount of code will grow. Now let's suppose that you don't want to get a whole object but only a certain column. Generic select fields holds the information about type, attribute, and result class. Select fields are added to the query for each needed column. Sometimes, same query can have different results for different user or user groups. In any case, the admin user will get the complete result. To execute your query as admin, pass the admin user to the search query. Search query can also hold count parameter. Count limits the amount of rows that are returned. To execute the SQL function like count, min, or max, you need the generic function select field containing function name and Java class return value. If you need to use the subquery, execute the add subquery method. Provide attribute from the main query operator and the type code for the subquery. That method will return a subquery object so you can pass your search conditions there. Generic search queries can be reusable if resettable values are used. To do this, first you need to specify a qualifier for conditions during the query construction. Next, provide values for those qualifiers before the query execution. Let's wrap it up. Generic DAO can cover basic search scenarios. Generic search is quite easy to use. Java objects interaction may take a lot of screen space. Generic search suits for simple cases. That's it for generic DAO and search.